Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Okie dokie, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. Now, we're going to be talking about gardening for the next couple of hours. Let's take it an hour at a time. How about that? Some of you ain't got 2 hours on a Friday morning or even on the live, the podcast. You may not have 2 hours, but you can tune in and pick up what you missed anytime by going to mpbonline.org or to YouTube and look for Gestalt Gardener, Gestalt Gardener. And you can see some of the pictures because, Java, I got some stuff to show and tell today. Man,
I should have started the song On the Road Again. You've been on the road.
I have been. And by the way, if Dr. Kinsey comes in the next hour, after this program, I forget the medical matters.
Yeah, Southern Remedies.
Southern Remedies.
That's a good title for a show, Medical Matters.
Yeah, Southern Remedies. Anyway, because of one of my show and tells, I dug up some of my garlic. It's going to be a little funky in here. So I hope she either loves garlic or has a good sense of humor.
Well, doctors, they have I don't know, I don't want to say an acute sense of smell, but they can, I guess, maybe block out smells from working with patients of various,
But still, she's a human being, and she may say, nope, don't do the garlic thing.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. In the second hour, we're going to talk to a friend of ours, Herbie Austin, who is the general manager of a garden center that represents all the retail garden centers in the state. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. But, like I say, it's a call-in program, so anybody who wants to give us a call is toll-free, 1-877-MPB-RING. And by the way, I said binge gardening. That was a comment coined by my old friend, my old pub mate, Keith, the other night. I want to give a shout out to Keith. He listens to the program live and on the podcast.
Oh, you're not going to tell him to get a life?
Oh, no. I already told him that. But anyway, he said it's just a bunch of binge gardeners. And I'm thinking, okay, that works. But anyway, there's a whole lot of stuff going on right now. If you want to tune in online and go to YouTube or MPB Online, mpbonline.org, you'll see some of the pictures that I've got to show because I've got quite a few interesting things that I can't describe by just waving my fingers in the air.
Now, speaking of YouTube, I want to give an early shout-out because our YouTube chat is always active. And if you can't call in and you're on YouTube, you can leave a question in the chat. But good morning to Alan. Says, good morning, Felder and Java from Virginia. Margie checking in from Harpersville. Amanda says, good morning from Dexter. And then has a little poem. The green beans are making. The corn is high. The tomatoes are close. The blueberries are getting there in spite of the rain. So a happy weekend. And then shout out to Dean and Jean and I don't know how to say this last one, but good morning.
Not even gonna try it, huh?
No, it's something garden, Shart Garden, and they put a lot of green hearts and good morning in the chat.
Well, we're going to be talking about whatever's on people's minds. If you got some things, I know there's a lot of questions out there because, Java, I'm the one of the administrators of the Mississippi Gardening Facebook page. and there's a lot of stuff going on right now, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna talk about some of it that I see, even though I've been gone the past week and a half or so. I got back and drove all around Jackson and Ridgeland, Madison, Pearl, pretty much the Jackson metro area, seeing what's going on. And there's some interesting stuff going on. But also the people on the Facebook, the Mississippi Gardening Facebook thing, they're having questions about stuff like garlic. When do I dig my garlic? Is it too late to fertilize the grass? What's this going on with my lawn? What are these little bugs? What can we do about them? Spots on the leaves. With all this rainy, cool weather, we're seeing an unusual amount of fungal activity, where there's leaves, tomatoes are firing up, you got spots on your zinnias, things like that. And I can help with a lot of that, but, Java, being me, being retired horticulturist with Mississippi State, I can make your eyes bleed with stupid detail about stuff you could do, but being a practical gardener, raised by practical gardeners who are raised by practical gardeners, I'll say what I would do. And a lot of times it's just take my glasses off and just keep on, just go on. Before we really get into all that, let me show off my garlic if I can. I dug my peas are coming in, my English peas. Actually, they're starting to kind of peter out a little bit because because of all the rain and all hot weather. But I harvested my garlic, and I just want to show this. This is look at there.
That's a nice looking garlic.
Yeah, it's about 3 feet tall. It's got a flower head at the top, which, by the way, the round flower head, this is about, when it was open, it was about the size of a baseball, kind of a lavender white. The flowers are perfectly edible, but it's got this long stalk. The leaves are starting to die down. They're turning yellow, so that tells me the garlic is done for the year. When the leaves start turning yellow, I dug it up, and look at the size of that bulb. It's got a whole bunch of cloves in there, and I pulled one apart just to show you. This is how big the cloves are on mine. But here's the deal. This is not really garlic. The garlic cloves are small like this. Garlic is real easy to grow, but generally small. The one I've got is called elephant garlic, and it's everything about it says garlic. The bulb, the little cloves, the leaves, the flower, everything says garlic, but it's technically a type of leek.
Oh, a leek, yeah.
Yeah.
But
everything about it says garlic. It's grown, and a lot of people call it wild garlic because you can see it around old home sites. This one everybody grew, and you see these knee-high, thigh-high stems with these almost softball-sized flowers on the top. They call it wild garlic. Everything about it says garlic, but it's technically a leek. Not that there's a big difference.
Does it cook like garlic?
It does, except it's real mild.
Okay.
My Susan does not like garlic, but she'll tolerate this. It's not pungent.
Yeah.
Some of the garlics I grow, I grow 7 or 8 different kinds. Some of them are zesty. They're hot. But elephant garlic is real mild, real easy to grow. And even if you don't like to eat garlic, it's an incredible flowering bulb. It comes back every year, makes a nice little clump of these wild white flowers. And again, they're edible. But anyway, elephant garlic is easy to grow. It's ornamental. When you're tired of looking at it, you can eat it. And there's always going to be some coming back. So I just want to throw that out. I really probably ought to set this out in the hallway because it's smelling up the studio here, something fierce.
Well, we'll get to a break and handle that.
All righty. Last week, and I want to show some pictures. Last week, I broadcast live from the fabulous garden of my Southern California friends, Julian and Leslie Duvall. Julian was the president and director, CEO of the San Diego Botanic Garden. And I got a picture from their garden that they took of me. Let me see if I can find it. If they can, if Abram can put up picture number 1. And by the way, shout out to Abram and Dimitri back there at Live Stream Producers. This is me broadcasting from their fabulous garden from an ironing board.
And might I say, it's like Felder in the wild.
It is. I mean, I don't have socks on or anything. I'm just out there. I got my laptop set up on an ironing board, sitting out in an incredible tropical jungle. I'm broadcasting live. So, and I want to show just a handful of other pictures if I can, because right now we're waiting on calls to come rolling in. Picture number 2. I'm not going to go into much about this because we can do that later. But this is the typical example of a Southern California succulent garden. They got crepe myrtle. They got bougainvillea. But look at those agaves and all different kinds of succulent. No grass at all, but incredible shapes and textures and sizes of plants that don't need water. And I'm actually growing quite a few of those myself. But we'll talk about that some other time. But let me put up, this is great, picture number 2B. I took a milk of magnesia bottle out.
Yeah, that's the one you gifted.
I gifted to them. Well, they put it in their garden. You know, this is an authentic Phillips milk of magnesia bottle. It's an antique bottle, bottled in Pascagoula, Mississippi, and they put it out in their garden. And I call it their bottle tree seedling. And let's see if it grows from there. But while I was out there, I was looking around, of course, looking for ideas for succulents and things that'll grow really well, interesting combinations of areas that have been settled pretty well. But picture number 3 is not exactly a bottle tree, but it's glass art. I found this little island called Coronado. It's in the middle of the harbor of San Diego.
Now, that's pretty.
Yeah. I used to live in a little small town. I mean, it's smaller than Fondren, you know, in Jackson. Little town, but it's on an island. It's got a naval air station there, which is where I worked when I was in the Navy. But they put a little tree out there. It's got all sorts of glass things on it. I thought it was real nice. But the last one I'll show, I finally found a real bottle tree. Picture number 4. I found a real bottle tree, and it's a unique one, and I think I can do this. It looks sort of like an agave or a cactus or a palm or something.
It does kind of have that palm kind of look because they fan out the way the bottles are fanning out.
Yeah. They got a metal post, and they put some little. I guess those are little metal tubes. They're probably a couple of inches around and 3 inches long, and it's just topped with a whole bunch of green bottles. This is something I've never seen before in Java. I can do this. So anyway, if you're not on live stream, if you're not on mpbonline.org, can't see the picture, check it out sometime. You can do this 24/7, anytime you feel like it. But if you want to see what I think is the best California bottle tree, and also a really cool succulent garden, go to mpbonline.org and go to the radio and take it from there. It's pretty self-explanatory. Or go to YouTube and type in Gestalt Gardener, and you can see some of this. Me and Java and Abram and all the other folks at MPB, we're going to take a real quick break. I got some other stuff to talk about, but I'm wanting to hear from you. What's going on in your garden, or not? What's not going on in your garden, or what's going awry in your garden? Stick with us, folks. We're going to take a real short break, and we're going to come back with live MPB, the Gestalt Gardener, right after this. Stick with us, folks.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you have hated, go on about their business. Who care of us?
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar is right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing Java. You did us all a big favor just then.
Yeah, I stepped into that room.
You just stepped in to say something to me,
and I didn't know. You bring things in.
Your eyes rolled back.
Sometimes they smell. They don't smell. That room smells like a kitchen.
Yeah, a kitchen, a garlic kitchen.
Yes, a garlic kitchen.
It was strong, but it's fresh. That's it. When I harvest my garlic, I dig them up. I cut the stems back to 6 or 8 inches long. I lay them just outside and out of the rain and let them dry, let them cure for a couple of weeks. They store a whole lot better, and they lose that pungency also. Anyway, got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I can't tell is we got a call yet?
Yeah, the call is coming in, but we did just get an email, and I want to say, if you can't call in, the email is always open, garden@mpbonline.org. But it's a real simple one. Somebody sent in a picture of, I believe, their plum tree, and they just said, Felder, what's wrong with my plum tree?
This is pictures they have. Oh, I see. Oh, that's actually that's an insect. It's called. It is really weird. It's an insect that chews on the bottom surface of the leaf, and it leaves papery part of it. It's called a skeletonizer.
That's the name of the bug?
Yeah, it's called a skeletonizer. What it does is it chews the colorful part of the leaves off. It leaves just a papery membrane. It looks like a leaf skeleton. And it's pretty common. It's not that big a deal. Most of the time it's temporary. If she wanted to spray, any of the fruit tree sprays would work. But at the same time, the trees should be putting on some new growth that'll outgrow this damage.
Okay.
And, so spraying is not gonna fix the tree. It might get rid of it, but I think they're pretty well done for the season. So what I do is we have plenty of rain, so I throw a little fertilizer out there, just a little bit, scattered outside, away from the trunk a little ways where the roots are, and help it put on some healthy new growth. This is one of those things where it really bothers gardeners more than it bothers the plants.
I got it. It's probably just more than a natural way things go.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of folks have been posting pictures of these insect galls, Galls. Galls are usually hollow structures. The insect will lay an egg, cut a slit in a twig or a leaf, and this little bubble will grow around. It's called a gall, and it usually has a tiny little egg and a little insect inside it. And they're real common. Some are big, knotty. They're the size of my fist. They're made out of solid wood. They're falling out of oak trees right now. Some are on pecan trees on the new growth. We see weird little galls on the leaves of a lot of plants. They're not that big a deal. Matter of fact, they're kind of interesting, and it's just a weird way for certain types of insects to make a living.
Yeah.
So overall, galls are they're not great, but it ain't that big a deal. Now let's go down to Laurel and talk with Trish. Trish, good morning. How are you this wet week in May?
It's so wet, and that's part of my question. I was in Chinley, Arizona last year.
Oh boy!
I brought some hollyhock seeds home with me.
Yeah.
I planted them. I kept them in the greenhouse over the winter. I kept it in a bucket till I was sure it was established. I put it out, and all this rain was drowning and turning yellow. Should I dig it back up and put it in the bucket again?
How tall is it? Is it starting to send up the flower stalk yet?
No, it hasn't started. It's still just a lot of leaves on long stems. It hasn't started to stalk yet.
You say, is it in a pot?
No, I put it in the ground.
Okay.
I decided it was going to live, and I put it in the ground, but now it's drowning.
Well, and this is a real tough thing. It's unusual that we have this problem this time of year. Usually we need some rain, but if you leave it, it's getting some root damage. There's no question about it. But digging it up does more root damage. If you wanted to dig it gently, repot it immediately. And, give it a good soaking, but don't keep it wet because those roots are damaged with too much water. More water can cause, even in a pot. But here's the deal. Hollyhocks, when you see them out in Arizona or California or England, places, Seattle, places like that, they get tall, they're beautiful, they're full of blooms. They don't do well here at all. I mean, think about it. How often do you see, if any place would be covered with hollyhocks, it'd be Laurel with all those old Victorian type buildings and all.
True.
You see them everywhere if they grew well, but they don't because they don't like our heat. They don't like our humidity. They get disease. And I'm not trying to be negative here, but you don't see hollyhocks everywhere here for reasons. Yeah. Now, here's the big deal. If you want to give them a try again next year, plant the seeds in the fall. put the plants outside. They grow better over the winter outside, cold weather. I mean, it grows outside in upstate New York.
Really?
So the plants actually need cold to sort of break their dormancy, and then they flower. See, so they really are over the winter plants, sort of like pansies. And so next time, put them outside. Cold will not hurt them at all, and they'll bloom earlier and better.
Okay, good. And back to galls. I have a live oak that's got lots of galls. Should I just leave them alone then?
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. It's not going to really hurt. It kills a few twigs back a little bit, but that just makes the trees bushier. People say, well, just prune. They say, well, prune them off. Well, pruning does the same damage that galls would do. So generally, there's a lot of benefits. The insects that do that, the adults and the larvae are actually food for birds. See, so there's nothing practical you can do about them, so just ignore them. And good luck on the Good luck on the hollyhocks.
Thank you very much. Have a great one.
Appreciate it. Java's real interesting because, as you know, I spend part of the time overseas, and things like hollyhocks, pansies, violas, snapdragons, they grow over the summer in cooler places. They grow over the winter for us. And trying to grow them over the summer, like petunias, they just peter out when it gets really, really hot. So we have a backwards climate when it comes to stuff like that. Anyway, let's go down to Pass Christiana on the coast and talk with Jennifer. Good morning.
Good morning, Felder. I have a rose bush that is in a pot, and it's beautiful. It's like this pinkish yellow white, but it has already bloomed. And within a couple of days, it's already turning, and it's going to be done for this year. And I was wondering if there was a rose bush that you could suggest that would be a repeat bloomer and that can take the heat.
Yeah, there are some good ones. The one that first comes to mind is actually a series. It's a group, and they're called. I just had it on the top of my head. Top of my tongue. It's a real common repeat blooming. I've just drawn a blank. It's there's a whole group. They're little small shrub roses, and I'm having a senior moment here. Anyway, it's a whole group of them. They come in white, red, pinks, yellowish.
It's not the drift.
Yeah, the
roses
drift
that you're thinking of.
Drift is a series of roses, and they come in all different kind of colors. Now, some of them are susceptible to powdery mildew, which is kind of disfiguring if you look at plants too close. But powdery mildew aside, those are probably the best compact ever blooming roses that you can prune to keep. If you get bad powdery mildew or black spot or something, just prune them. They bloom on new growth all summer. But those are good. If you want a good pink one, there's an old garden rose from the 1930s. It's been out there forever. And why am I just drawing a blank on this? The Fairy. The Fairy. That's the name of it. The Fairy. Okay. It's a compact one. It blooms and blooms. It's mostly pink, but you can put something yellow nearby to sort of pick that color, or maybe put you something painted yellow, a little accent or something, or a yellow pot with some other flowers in it. But the Fairy is a real dependable repeat bloomer. It's reasonably resistant to powdery mildew and black spot, and it'll be there forever.
Okay, let me ask you this. So I have my roses. I bought them. They were in pots, and I had them in the sun, and they started to kind of wilt. And so I have actually moved mine almost to the shade. They get morning sun, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I just always thought roses would take full sun.
Well, they do. They do full sun better than full shade. Any amount of sunshine will help. It's better than none. 6 or 8 hours is usually plenty to get them to bloom. But if they're wilting in a pot, it's because of either your potting soil it dries out too quick, or it stays too wet, or it's going to be a watering issue, is what I'm saying. If you've got them in a pretty
I put them in the ground. That was like my little test spot to see if they could take all that sun.
Right.
And they couldn't. But okay, it could have been just the
it's going to be a
soil
root
was
problem.
draining too fast.
Roses grow between tombstones in a cemetery. They can take the sun. What they can't stay is way too wet or way too dry. And so you've got, some of the gardens in past Christianity got some pretty good dirt, but if you'll dig a nice wide hole and add just a little peat moss or compost to it, just to fluff it up a little, don't overdo it, then they'll have a stronger root system than if they're grown in all potting soil or heavy, poorly drained soil. So wide hole. When you get a new rose and you pull it out of the pot, always loosen that potting soil up. Don't just pull it out of a pot and stick it in the ground. So the roots get used to your dirt. So wide hole, add a little bit of stuff to it, and then try not to water often. Water deeply, but not often, and the roses will get adjusted to it pretty quick.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Jennifer, thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I ran into a really interesting couple yesterday, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But meanwhile, let's slide up to the hill country, to Amory. Janice, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good. So far, so good. What's up?
My question is, do you call a blackberry plant a vine or a bush?
Well, all these years I've been doing that, nobody's asked that. It's really neither. It runs. It has those underground runners and has long canes that come up. So I'd call it a rambler type plant. That's a good question. Okay. If you don't prune them, it'll turn into a thorn bush.
Okay, so the suckers the new suckers that are coming up, feed on them. Do I cut those off?
Oh no. Here's the way blackberries produce in the summer on what grew the year before. So what blackberry growers do is the stuff that has blackberries this year, those canes are just going to turn into thorns. Whatever canes produce this year, go ahead and cut them back to 6 inches, foot tall. Just get rid of those. And the new stuff that's coming up, if we snip the tips off of it this time, by July or so, they will bush out and have more berries next year on what grows the rest of the summer. So instead of letting them get long and tall and arching, just snip them back. They'll bush out the rest of this year, have a lot more berries next year. So every year, as soon as you get through picking, cut the producing canes you just harvested down, and then snip the tips off the new growth so it bushes out more compact, more berries next year. And then that's it. That's the only time to prune them.
That's great to know. And my plums turned yellow, little yellow, and fell off the tree.
Sound like a lot of rain. Bet you getting a lot of rain?
Yes.
That'll do it. Too much water is bad, but too much water is worse on plants than not enough, especially, when the fruits are small. They're real easy to abort because of what we call environmental conditions. So if they're shedding and they had any size to them at all, it's just going to be all this rain.
Okay, enjoyed your pictures from San Diego. My son lives there. It's beautiful.
Have you been out to visit him?
Going there in 2 weeks. Yes, going in 2 weeks.
So, so you going out there in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You gonna be there a little while?
A week.
If you get a chance, go across the Big Blue Bridge, a little town called Coronado. I used to live there. It's a small town. It's only got a few streets. And just drive up in there. It's a beautiful little town. It's got a nice, little shopping district and all. But just ride up and down those streets and look at some of the really cool. That's a place where these little bungalows, little cottages, used to be owned by retired Navy people. They sell for like $1 million now. They're not any bigger than most people's garages. But they take care of their stuff, and there's some really, really cool ideas there.
And they have a beautiful hotel.
Oh, yeah, Hotel Del. I was in the Navy. I was actually in the Navy band, and we used to play there quite a bit. I couldn't afford to stay there, but I played there. I was the help. Anyway, you have fun. Appreciate it. Thanks, Janice.
Bye-bye.
Java, I did spend a lot of time in San Diego. Let me show 4 pictures, if I can, of something I brought back. If we get Abram picture number 5, I actually showed this picture last week. A lot of people grow this plant called night blooming cereus. It's not a true cereus. Epiphyllum is what it's called. Long, skinny leaves are flat like swords and kind of jagged, and it's just not a pretty plant. It's a plant that makes my hair look good, but when it blooms at night, it has these incredible flowers. And some people call it the queen of the night, but this night blooming cereus. But let's show picture number 6. This is the one that everybody grows, one that you do well to grow. But picture number 6, just to give you an idea of some of the different kinds There's so many different kinds. That flower is big. I can put my fist inside that Java. And then picture number 7.
It doesn't look that big.
Well, it's a big one. It's a big one. But picture number 7 shows a one that my friend Julian was growing. And you see the flat leaf. That is a big flower. It's pink. The deep pink with a pale pink edge around the leaves. That is a big, big, big flower. Let's show a close-up of it, picture number 8. And I got 2 more pictures after this. This is what the close-up looks like. That is an incredible. You can see why they're called orchid cactus. And these things grow in trees. They grow hanging off rocks. They just like Spanish. They don't need a lot of dirt. They don't need a lot of water. They literally grow in trees.
I was about to say, are you finna say just like Spanish moss?
Yeah.
That'd be incredible to see those kind of just hanging down.
Oh yeah, but unfortunately they'll freeze here in Mississippi. Well, let's show picture number 9, just to show you a different kind. This is the kind of golden orange one. You see that short little piece of stem there? It's about 2 inches wide. And it's flat like a sword. And picture number 10 is I got cuttings from both of those, and I cut them up into pieces. And to bring them back, I carry just a carry-on bag. I don't travel luggage, just carry-on bag. And I can always buy socks if I need them. But I brought these back to keep them from breaking. I stuffed them in my tennis shoes that were packed in my carry-on bag. And then the last picture we show is picture number 11. Here's what I took those cuttings. They're maybe 3 or 4 inches long. I stuck them in some potting soil. Remember what ends down, and each one of those is going to root within like 3 weeks, and they can send out all these branches. So I got 4 each of these great big, incredible orchid cactus. This time next year, I should have some to sell. I don't sell anything to share. It might even be that we can have some of these as thank you gifts for drive time sometime.
If they spread out like you're saying, they could be.
You take these long branches, cut them, and because they're not leaves, they're actually flattened stems. They look like long, skinny leaves with their stems. A piece is 2 or 3 inches long where root is sprouted out all new ones. Anyway, I brought back some really, really incredible orchid cactus, what we call night blooming cereus. And we have some gardeners here in Mississippi that grow a lot of different kinds. There are 2 guys down on the coast I know of who just have all these different colored kinds, but most people have that same old white night blooming cereus, which is great. But I just want to say there's more stuff out there. That's what I brought back from this trip to California. So anyway, can we play a tune?
Yeah.
We got the lines wide open. For some reason, people are just sitting on their hands. They're not calling. I guess it's because we're yapping too much.
Well, sometimes, like I tell some of the other hosts and things, you never judge the value of a show by the amount of calls that you get.
But I want to call. I want to talk with people. I want to talk. Somebody give us a call.
But anyway. You sent 2 tunes. What we going with first?
Well, I forgot. One of them is "I Love My Dog." I forget the guy's name. Called Andy Griggs. There's a country singing Andy Griggs. A song called "I Love My Dog." You want to hear a sweet tune? Check it out. We can't rebroadcast this on the podcast, but check out Andy Griggs' tune called "I Love My Dog." I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing, Java Chapman, and all the other folks here at MPB. We're glad you joined us. We've got the lines wide open. Got plenty of stuff to talk about. I can talk about a pencil if we need to. We got a lot of stuff going on in the gardens right now, and I know some of you have got things going on you like to either share or share your good news, or if you got questions, give us a call. We'll be right back with more of the Gestalt Gardener right here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Let me show a couple of pictures from a farmer's market. I thought it was real interesting. You go to a farmer's market, you expect to find, this is picture number 12, you expect to find some unusual stuff that are locally grown. And one is different heirloom tomatoes. Now, Java, those are not pretty tomatoes. There's yellow ones, there's green ones, there's red ones, there's purple ones, there's big ones, little ones. They're not that sandwich slicing, cutting quality.
Yeah, that nice round
right.
baseball kind of size.
Yeah, and that's the reason not sold in stores, because they're hard to pick, they're hard to ship, they're softer, and you can't pick up green and ship them like the kinds you buy at the store. So farmers markets have a lot of heirloom. They're not pretty, but they are so tasty, so flavorful. But I want to show picture number 12, a farmers market I saw in San Diego. They sell squash flowers. $13 for a pound. These are zucchinis, and a lot of people, they're squash. They have two kinds of flowers: the male flowers, female flowers. Female flowers on the end of what looks like a little squash, whether it's a yellow squash, crook neck, straight neck, zucchini, whatever. But you can cut those off, the little stem and everything, and eat the whole thing. Immature fruit, flowers, and everything. And people just don't think about that.
Squash blossoms.
Yeah. I'm not sure how you would cook them. And then the last picture I want to show is picture number 13. Colorful, different kinds of cauliflower. You like to fry cauliflower like chicken wings.
Yeah, you can do it and sauce them up. Oh yeah.
Well, there's purple ones, there's yellow ones, there's golden, gold. Almost orange, different kind of cauliflower. See, we grow what our parents grew, what they sell at garden centers. There's so many interesting heirloom vegetables and flowers and fruits out there. They're not mainstream, but you can get them. So if you like colorful stuff, there it is, purple cauliflower.
That's the way, on those Food Network shows and stuff, they make all these different sculptures and art out of the food.
Yeah.
Having these different colors helps.
Yeah. It's called ornamental.
There you go.
Ornamental. We got a call, but let me go ahead and show one more picture. Picture number 14. This is something you can do at home. Take seeds of things like peas and lettuces and turnips and all like that, and sow the seeds real thick, and they come up, just like a carpet, and it's called microgreens. They're really high in nutrients. Got so many different kind of nutrients that are good for you, and you eat them before the bugs can get to them.
Yeah.
See, now this is something you get your kids to do. Get a little flat, just a little flat thing, a little bit of potting soil, sow the seeds real thick, and when they come up, get 3 or 4, get a few leaves, you can eat them just like that. Anyway, just on microgreens. Now, let's go down to Terry, Mississippi. Jackie's been hanging on a long time. Jackie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Felder.
Hello.
I am Jackie, and I'm from Terry. I have a night blooming cereus that I bought several years ago from a wealthy plant sale, and it's never bloomed.
Well, here's a couple of things. Night blooming cereus. This orchid cactus. The way they grow naturally, where they bloom naturally, they hang off of rocks, they hang in trees. They don't need much potting soil. They don't need much water. They don't need much soil. They don't have a real big root system. So if you'll keep it a little root bound, what stimulates their blooming, what kicks them into blooming naturally is when they go through a period of drought and cooler nights. So a lot of times when they bloom, it's because people forgot to water them, and just let them be cactus.
That would fit my plant's description because it's on a rack. I move it in the wintertime.
Yeah, you have to do that.
It's back out. Yeah, it's back outside now on a baker's rack on my front porch, and I ignore them pretty much.
Does it get any sun at all?
No, it does not.
Okay. Well, they need some sun. That's where they get the energy.
Okay.
So at the same time, if you put them out in all day sun, they get sunburn. They get red and burgundy.
Okay.
I mean, they just look terrible. But if they get morning or afternoon sun, just not middle of the day, they'll get more energy. And hold back on the fertilizer. Don't fertilize. If you're going to use fertilizer, use it at a half or 1/3 strength, just a little bit to keep them growing. Only water them after they get dry. And a lot of times they bloom in the fall when the days start to get shorter. In the spring, we have short days. In the fall, we have short days. Between the drought and the shorter days, that's what stimulates the flower formation.
Okay. Well, the point about getting a little sunshine probably is what I need to do with it.
Yeah, they'll grow in full sun, but they look terrible.
Okay. Next quick question. Is it crazy to plant vegetables in with flowers like okra and your marigolds?
No, not at all. Matter of fact, that's what I do.
Okay.
To me, okra is one of the pretty. It's a hibiscus. It's got a real pretty flower. And actually, you're from Terry. Next time you go to Jackson, swing by Hutto's and get a little package of what they call burgundy okra. The leaves are just a burgundy.
Okay.
The pods are burgundy. The flowers are pale yellow. It cooks green, but it's a compact plant. But you can plant okra in with your flowers as a foliage plant, even if you don't like to eat it.
Okay.
And this is a trendy word, but it's been done forever. It's called ornamental. You're growing flowers and vegetables together, ornamental vegetables, in with your flowers.
Okay.
And matter of fact, I can't imagine having a pot with just one vegetable when you could have a tomato or pepper or basil and all sorts. Just mix them all together like you would flowers.
So I could plant some okra plants with my oregano, in a pot with my oregano.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get big,
okay.
but it's a big pot. And I would go, there's some compact variety, a lot of different varieties of okra. A friend of mine wrote an entire book on okra. I visited him. He had over 80 different kinds of okra. And a lot of them looked alike, to be honest. But anyway, they're pretty plants. And you can put them in your flower beds, just like flowers.
Well, thanks for all the advice this morning. Have a nice day. And I have my new T-shirt that has your face on the back of it. So what a day!
Bless your heart. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting MPB. All righty, that was Jackie from down in Terry. Java, I ran into somebody real interesting yesterday. I was driving home day before yesterday. I passed his garden. I said, I haven't seen them in a long time. And yesterday I drove specifically over just to talk to them. It's a couple who lives on Ellis Avenue, not very far from Hutto's. And their names, met him and his wife. I've got it written down here. I forgot their name already. Well, phooey. I just wrote it down, and already I've lost their names.
Okay. Well.
Anyway, I tell you, while I'm because I've got it right here someplace. If you'll go, found it. Judy and Anthony Norwood.
Okay, yeah.
I've met them several times. I stopped by looking at. Andy is always out there. Anthony is always out there pruning on his trees and stuff. But let's put picture up picture number 17. Now, this is not their garden. This is their neighbor's garden. This is what caught my eye. Their neighbors, they got this plant called crinum lily.
Crinum lily?
Crinum. It's white with little pale wine-colored stripes. They call it milk and wine lily. As far as we know, my friend Greg Grant from Texas, as far as we know, none of these have ever died, ever. And if you want to dig one up, you better bring it along. So let's show a little bit close-up picture number 18 to show you what the plant looks like. This is a plant that will literally grow in cemeteries. It needs no care whatsoever. None. Crinum. In a few weeks, we're going to interview my friend Jinx Farmer from South Carolina. He's the top crinum grower in the South. But in the background, look at what Anthony does to a tree.
That's what I was about to say. I'm really looking at the manicured lawn in the background.
Let's put up picture number 19. And about when I was talking to him, I asked Judy whether Anthony does this because she wants to. Which one of you does this on purpose? And they both pointed at each other. But his lawn is immaculate. The shrubs are tightly pruned. Everything is repeated. It's an immaculate little garden. But look what he does to his oak tree.
Yeah, no,
it looks like a lollipop on a stick. He gets up on a ladder and prunes it like that every year. The reason I want to show you that, because this is an oak tree. I've been watching this for decades. I've been going up and down Ellis Avenue for years and years and years. So when people say you shouldn't prune a crepe myrtle, I'm thinking they need to pick on oak trees next. And then let's go talk to Anthony in Norwood, see what he thinks about what they think.
But he has to make his oak tree match his bushes back there.
Everything is neat, everything is neat. And they're a wonderful couple. Their whole garden is neat as a pin. But he pruned his oak tree looks like a big, thick stem with, it's not brown like a lollipop, but it's flattened, but it is a tight little topiary.
Okay,
made of an oak tree.
Nice vocabulary word there. But it's so funny that you can appreciate that, and if someone was to go into your garden, it's different.
Yeah. Well, I do have a boxwood shrub in my yard. A boxwood I pruned it to a tight little ball just to show folks I know what to do. But this is called topiary, and it amuses me. It almost irritates me, but I'm stoic enough to where it amuses me that people say you shouldn't do certain things when it's been done forever and it's perfectly fine. So I'm, devil's advocate here. Do oak trees need pruning? No. Can you prune them? Absolutely. If you don't believe me, take a drive down Ellis Avenue and look at Anthony Norwood, what Judy makes him do.
Well, they both do it according to what you said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're a wonderful couple. Anyway, shout out to Judy and Anthony Norwood. Hey, let's talk to.
Well, hold on. Before we get to Robert, he's getting lined up on the phone. We have a comment about your zucchini flowers. You was like, I don't know how to cook them.
Yeah.
And Pamela on the YouTube said zucchini flowers can be stuffed, usually with some combo ricotta, herbs, and cheese, and baked. Huh. And, there's a lot of recipes online about that. So thank you, Pamela, for that quick response. And then one quick question from the YouTube before we get to Robert. It's Janice. And it kind of goes to what we had something earlier about blackberry. Do I cut the suckers off my blackberry vine?
No, not really. Again, what grows this year, this summer and fall, is what's going to have berries next year. So if you're going to cut them back, don't cut all of this year's growth off. Cut last year's growth, and then tip prune. Just snip the tips off of this year's growth so it branches out more compact, more stems, more berries. So the only time to prune blackberries, raspberries, dewberries is this time of year. As soon as you get through harvesting, cut the old stuff out, cut the new back a little bit so it branches out. But leave this year's growth, let it bush out for more berries next year. No pruning after that. So now let's slide up to Robert. He's on Highway 45 going up or down the east side of the state. Robert, what's up?
Hey, I have the opportunity to drive up to Starkville about once a month. We have a place up there. I actually live in Pascagoula. But this time of year when we drive up, these golden, small, look like little tiny sunflowers, they're everywhere along the roadside and in the median. Can those be grown in a yard of a residence? And how would you do it?
Okay, well, it's a good question. The problem is, I'm a weed watcher. Matter of fact, I can't keep my eyes on the road. I'm always scanning the roadside, looking for stuff. And there's several yellow flowers out there right now. One, you see a lot in the fields. It's a type of ranunculus. If you look at it real close, the flowers have a satiny sheen to them, almost reflective. Also, we have coreopsis, which is our official state wildflower. Black-eyed Susans are yellow, but they got that brown cone on them. But the coreopsis, which is all yellow, grows a lot, just individual plants with a whole lot of them. So without looking at it, I can't tell for sure what it is. But at the same time, keep in mind where they grow best is generally poor dirt. Look at where they're growing. They grow on roadsides. They grow on uncultivated hillsides, abandoned fields. They don't like really good, rich dirt. So if you're going to plant a lot of these wildflowers, treat them lean and mean. And you can, if you're going up to Starkville, keep an eye on it. When they start to fade a little bit, you can stop by and pick some of the seeds on them. When the flowers dry up, they leave little seed heads, and take those and just scatter them over some plain old dirt this fall, because they sprout in the fall, they grow over the winter, they bloom and set seed in the spring. So it's going to be probably either ranunculus, where the flowers have a little satiny sheen to them, or probably coreopsis. Other than that, I would just be guessing, but they're all growing about the same.
That's a neat concept you just said, Felder. That they like trash dirt.
Yeah, I mean,
because they just don't grow on the roadside.
There's wildflowers that will literally grow on the roadside or in a cemetery in bad dirt. You put them in your yard, good dirt, water and fertilize them. They get big, lusty, flop over and die.
Yeah,
they like it lean and mean.
That's kind of I don't know. That just blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's just Epictetus once said, if you want a man to do what you want to do, treat him like if you want a fig to produce, treat him like a man. Get him to do what he wants to do and let him alone. If you treat it too good, it's just not gonna do.
I got it.
I lost my train of thought. A fig is like a self-willed man. Treat him his own way.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds brutish, but Java, we'll get it done.
Yeah. Like I said, the trash dirt just blow, because you go to the store and you buy all these, fertilizers and things to put in your, dirt in your soil to make it get all these things to put in your dirt to turn it into soil.
Yep, that's exactly it. Soil is improved dirt.
Yeah.
Some plants just grow best in dirt. We've got a caller on the line. Fiantes is calling from Mobile. Needs some help with a mint, but we're going to have to do it the next hour.
Yeah, please hold on. We have a little bit of a break.
Yes, toll free. We got some news and stuff. And after that, we got a few more things to talk about. But I've got an interview with one of my favorite garden center guys. His name is Herbie Austin. A lot of people know him, but he represents local garden centers across the whole state. We're going to talk with him about what's going on. So stick with us, folks. Me and Java Chapman, Nanny Abram, all the other folks here at MPB, we welcome you. And we got the garlic smell out of the office. So
hallelujah.
We're still going to open the doors a little bit. We'll be back from North Gestalt Gardener here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting right after this. We're going to keep getting dirty for another hour.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All right, folks, welcome back to Hour 2 of the Gestalt Gardener here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. I'm your host, horticulturalist Felder Rushing, and I want to talk with you about what's going on in your garden. And so I lost my little picture here, but I think it was a Fiona.
I believe Fuentes, and correct us if we're wrong, but Fuentes from Mobile.
Good morning, Fiona. Are we pronouncing your name right?
Good morning, it's Francis.
Francis.
All wrong.
Of
Francis
course.
in Mobile, yes.
Okay, well, what can we help you with today?
I have mint. Well, I say I have. I had mint.
Oh, boy.
I had a mint. No, I love mint. I have to have it for my... I have to have it for roast lamb. Mint, sugar, and vinegar. That's all there is for mint sauce.
There you go.
I had a mint bed about 4 feet by 8 feet. It has survived. It survived the snow we had, 7 inches of snow on it. And this spring, it just up and died. The whole thing, everything, not a sprig of mint to be seen. Why?
Well, if the whole thing died, it's going to be what I'm going to call a catastrophic environmental thing. It's going to be too wet or too dry or something like that. A disease would take out patches here and there. It wouldn't take the whole thing out at one time. So it could be something that would affect the entire bed, which is most likely going to be some kind of water issue. And this is just nothing, this is nothing but an educated guess. I grow mint at home. I grow it in the back of my truck. I have I'm the curator of the herb garden at the Agriculture Museum in Jackson. Been growing mint for years. and I give it no care at all. But in the middle of the summer, when it's really, really hot and dry, it gets a good deep soaking about once every 3 or 4 weeks, and that's it.
Right. It was in a raised bed with soaker hose. I mean, who else can just kill mint? I'm probably the only person on the entire planet who can kill mint.
I've always joked that for some reason, a lot of times when people plant mint, it dies because it has a pretty interesting relationship. The roots in the dirt. If it's too heavy, it won't grow. If it's too light, it won't grow because of water issues. I always tell people, if you want mint, plant it right beside where you want it to grow, because where you plant it's going to die, but it's going to run into the place next to it. So,
gotcha.
I don't, other than cutting it back, and seeing if, I'm at a total loss what would kill an entire bed other than something related to water or herbicides or, something like that. There's not a disease that I can think of that's going to take out a whole bed at one time. I just don't know.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it is, and what you could do is try to rework it, and there's a good chance if you try to get rid of mint, you can't. That's the weird thing about it. You can't get rid of it if you try. So what I would do is I would go ahead and get a little rough with it, cut it way back, maybe take part of the bed and take a shovel and just turn it over, just dig part of it, maybe around the edge
and then
or in the middle.
And then replant.
Yeah, and well, it might come back. Is what I'm saying.
No, it's dead. It's dead as a doornail.
Oh, and no herbicide.
Yeah. No, nothing. It's just one day I walk out there and it looks kind of sad, and 2 weeks later it was dead. Like you could just pull up the dead roots.
Yeah, and
I almost cried.
Yeah, well, root diseases can cause that, but usually it's going to cause it in a patchy way, not the whole thing. Not the whole thing at one time. So, I'm at a loss. I'm just at a loss.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to replant, dig up what's there and dig down and bring some of the dirt that's beneath it, bring it up, and sort of mix some of the deeper dirt with the top stuff. That might help a little bit. But
I will try that.
Okay, good luck on it. And
I haven't had a lamb chop since it died. I can't get enough mint.
I tell you what you could do. If you call the county extension office and have them put in touch with master gardeners, ask them who's got mint to share, and I guarantee you they'll come out of the woodwork. There's a lot because the people who have it typically have more than they can use. But master gardeners are a sharing group, and so there'll be somebody in their group that says, "Yeah, I got all the mint you want."
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate it, Felder.
Okay. Oh, and what kind of mint do you like?
It's just the regular mint. It smells like mint. It's not the chocolate mint or the spearmint or all the other different. Just the regular garden variety.
Oh, yeah. I tasted and smelled some of the strawberry mint a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not impressed. Mint ain't supposed to smell like strawberries.
No, and the thing is that to make enough mint sauce, you have to have 4 or 5 big handfuls of it.
Yeah,
in order to make a jar of mint sauce. So I need a lot of it. So going to the grocery store is not going to cut it.
I guarantee you there could be some master gardeners who have more mint than they can share.
Excellent. Thank you, Felder. Stay dry.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
All righty. Java, we got Herbie on the line by any chance?
Yes, we do.
Herbie, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, man.
I can't believe you're taking a break and knowing how busy you are. You're just about holding the fort down yourself today, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of help showed up, but it's hard for me to just to walk away from here sometimes. I still have to be in the building at least.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I appreciate spending a little time with you. But by the way, while we're talking, let's put up picture number 16. I got a picture of you and yesterday with Susan. Stand there, and you still look like Kenny Loggins. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that.
I look like who?
Kenny Loggins. The guy with the white hair and the white beard.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. That's right, Kenny Rogers. Anyway, you're the general manager at Hutto's Home and Garden, and the reason I want to talk to you, her, because I've known you a long time. 40 years maybe.
Over 40 years.
Long time ago. And, you sort of represent locally owned garden centers all over the state because, you care about customers. You want them to come back. You want to sell stuff that they want to grow. You want them to try new stuff, but if it doesn't work, you're not going to just keep stocking it. So you have to stock what you think people are going to buy, which means planning ahead and knowing stuff. How do you pull that off? How do you know what to order every year for the next year? And
Well,
it's true of all the garden centers.
It is, and it's not. You don't know definitely what they're going to buy. You kind of go back for the past 2 to 3 years and look what you've been selling on it, and try to base it. And then you have years. I mean, even this year, I've had certain plants that I normally sell a lot of that I have not sold very many at all.
It just
and then I've got other varieties of plants that I've sold out of several times.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about a wildflower, a plant called Gara. You know, nobody planted Gara, a long time ago. Now it's everywhere. You've been carrying it for quite some while, but people, unless they know about it, they're not going to buy it because it doesn't look good in a pot, and they've never heard the word.
Yeah, but you're cutting out on me, and I can't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'll try to. Anyway, the bottom line is you've had a good spring. You in the garden centers, you've had weird weather, but it's been a pretty good spring. Are you already stocking up for fall?
Yeah, yes, I've already started booking plants for the fall already. I've already got my pansies booked and all my fall vegetable books, my cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and all of that on there. So we're getting ready for the fall now.
Have you noticed any trends in the kind of people that are coming in gardening? Are there a lot of old-time, big-scale gardeners or more small gardeners? Or any trend? Because you've been following this for decades. What kind of gardeners are coming in with good questions?
We've got more small-scale gardeners now than we used to. The biggest thing, everybody's going to raised beds and container gardening.
Yeah.
Over the big gardens.
Yeah, I know. I give a home fruit seminar there at Hutto's every year, but you have a gal coming there doing a raised bed seminar too. So,
right.
And this is something that young couples who don't know anything about gardening, older gardeners who don't feel like gardening, they can grow stuff in small raised beds or pots and mix flowers and herbs and vegetables.
And make a good crop and, make plenty of fruit, off the plants in the small beds.
Yeah. You answer a whole lot of questions, weird questions. I've known you a long time. My last caller, she had a raised bed of mint, and the whole bed died at one time. What would you say if somebody did that?
Herbicide.
Could be. I mean, that's likely, if they sprayed their yard. But a bed of mint, you can't kill mint.
No, you cannot kill mint. Mint goes crazy.
Yeah.
On there. And if the whole bed died out at one time, I would say it's herbicide because with all the rain we've had, it could have some dieback in it with a fungus, but I don't think that's it. It wouldn't kill the whole bed out at one time.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. Well, let me ask you this: when it comes to vegetables, y'all grow a lot of, you sell a lot of heirloom tomatoes and weird peppers and stuff like that. Is this a thing?
What do you mean by it? It's not just a thing. I mean, people really love the vegetables because they got better taste and flavor to them, and they produce more a lot of times on there.
So how do you keep them straight?
How do you keep them straight?
Yeah, how do you keep people mixing stuff up on the shelf?
Oh, now, because we got tags and everything, which we try to control, with the tags and all, with what they are, varieties they are. But still, that's hard to do sometimes.
Well, one of the main things I want to ask you, Hurry, because, since I retired, I don't keep track of, of trends with the pesticides and stuff like that. But, you've noticed a trend towards natural, organic insecticides, for example. Are they easier to come by now than they used to be?
In fact, a lot of the market's done so well with organic type chemicals and all that a lot of stuff on our normal side of chemical line, that's what's in them now. Even take neem oil. Neem oil is a fantastic product. It does a great job. It works as an insecticide and as a fungicide on there. It does a super job. Well, we're finding it more in like our fruit tree sprays, our vegetable garden sprays. That's what we're finding is the neem oil.
Yeah, and organic stuff. Also, there's a one called I call it spinosad or spinosad. Are you familiar with that?
Spinosad, yeah, spinosad.
Spinosad,
yeah.
Java. I can spell it, but I can't say it.
I would say that's a word right there.
Spinosad, spinosad. You said spinosad. That is it's all natural and it's an interesting all natural insecticide, and it works really well.
Does a very good job, and we sell a lot of it too. We sure do.
What about fire ants? Anything organic for fire ants other than?
Actually, spinosad is a good fire ant poison if you have a bait in it.
Yeah.
And we've got a granular that's for the vegetable gardens that is for the fire ants.
And let's see, where did it come from? I don't remember. I mean, was it around 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's probably been around about 10 years now.
But as more people find out about it, so I guess what I'm saying, you go to a home and garden center, and you got all these products on the shelves, and it can be daunting. I mean, even things like people used to use Roundup. Well, Roundup ain't the same thing anymore.
No, it's not.
And and you've got to stay on top of that, or else people are going to mess up. So
right.
It's really important, because you're a point man. Instead of just selling stuff, you're going to try to get them to do what's best.
Right, and we want something that's going to work for them, so they're satisfied with it, and solve their problem
without poisoning them.
And out poisoning. Another thing is there's so many of the old products that are being removed off the market now. You've got to keep up with what's new and going on. What's going to be the latest thing or the newest thing that does the job.
I would say that's one of the main advantages of going to an independent, locally owned garden center, because you guys, you're they remember you. If it doesn't work, they can come back and talk to you.
Yeah. They come and tell us about it if it doesn't work, and most people come back and tell us when it does work, when they're happy with it too. So.
Well, I had a lady call a while ago. She wanted to know if you could grow vegetables in with flowers. Could she plant okra in with other stuff? I said, man, yeah. How many different kinds of okra are there? Some are prettier to look at than they are to eat.
Yeah. It's got the burgundy okra. It's pretty to look at, but it's also got a good flavor to it, though, too.
Yeah. Do you eat okra, really?
I love okra. I love okra as long as it's fried.
And with ketchup on it. Fried with ketchup, that's right.
I ain't got to get no ketchup on it. But I don't want any boiled okra. I don't like the slimy okra.
No. Well, listen, I know you're busy. I just want to touch base. It's overall, some seasons are good, some are bad. It was weird weather. In general, how most garden centers doing?
We've had a good season this year. We had a good early season, so we got most of the sales and all in. People got the garden planted, got most of the flower beds planted and all, and now we're getting our rain now, which is really helping the season extend on through. So
yeah,
it's been a good season this year.
Now, are you having many people come in with leaf diseases because of all the rain, needing fungicides?
Yes, we are. We're starting to get the leaf diseases, and we're starting to get a lot of the brown patch out of St. Augustine.
Oh boy! Yeah. And you can get spray products for that. You don't have to use like a herbicide. I mean, a lawn fertilizer with fungicide. You can get just a fungicide and treat that.
Oh yeah, we can treat just with a fungicide if that's all we want to treat with on a lawn disease. I got fertilizer.
After visiting with you the other day, I drove through town and I came across one of the prettiest fairy rings I've ever seen. I know you're hearing a lot about that. Ain't squat you can do about fairy ring, but it just you have a lot of people come and complain to you, and there's nothing you can do but hold their hands, because sometimes there's not a product that'll do, and you know it.
That's right, and we tried to tell them that. So now I tell them, I said, I can sell you something if it'll make your mind happier, but I'm telling you, it's not going to work. It's just there's no control for that.
Hey, what we need to do is come up with a placebo. We call it Felder's foo-foo dust.
Yeah, right.
And this will work. This will make you feel better. Well, listen, man, I know how busy you are. I just wanted to snag you and chat with you a few minutes, because garden centers, we got good years, we got bad years. This looks like a pretty good one.
It's been a better year this year than what it was last year, for sure.
And still got plenty of stuff out there.
Oh, yes, sir. Sure does.
Okay. Well, get back to work, man. Tell everybody I said hey.
All right, fella. I'll see you, man. Appreciate it.
You bet. Bye now.
Bye.
Yeah, Java, I talk with garden center owners all over the country. I was raised in one. I spent a lot of time working, loading peat moss in people's cars, picking out roses, tomatoes, all that kind of stuff. And this reason I support locally owned places. They may not always know stuff, but they know you and you know them, so they can give you a little bit better service, I guess, so you can get some of the big box stores. It might be a little bit more expensive, but you're paying for knowledge and trustworthiness.
For personal experience, I can say Hutto's is one of Crystal's favorite places, and it's not always good to hear she's headed to her toes.
Oh no. Well, it's one of those old stops. You know, it's sort of like a seed and feed type place. But all the local garden centers, folks, I appreciate the work y'all do, and I know it's a struggle. But we're gonna take a break and come back and talk about some unusual. Matter of fact, I've got a picture of a fairy ring I want to show when we come back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. We'll be right back.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you have hated, they go on about their business. Care of us.
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar's right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All right, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. I want to talk with you, so give us a call. It's toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING. I don't always have an answer, but, you know, I'm not going to make something up, that's for sure. So if you want to give us a call, holler. Toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING. Javi, you said Crystal's, she's still in the gardening thing, right?
Oh yeah, no, our we are liking our tomatoes that are popping out. We have, I don't know if it's the birds or Crystal said we may even have like a rabbit or something they keep swiping the strawberries.
Oh yeah.
The cucumbers are starting to look nice, and yeah, the garden is looking good. Y'all should come by because the garden is looking good.
We will do that. You gonna be around this? The kids are out of school, so you gonna be around this weekend?
Well, actually, it's I'm gonna be doing a lot of running around, and people in the Jackson area will be too because it's 601 weekend.
What?
So there's so many. June the 1st is the 6th month, and then so it became like a 601 day. And then the weekend before is always, depending on how it falls. But 601 weekend, visit Jackson. They make a nice big push about it. Some of the local businesses and groups like Run Jackson, they're going to have a 5K and an 8K run tomorrow. So it's a lot happening this weekend.
They might be doing that in my neighborhood because usually when they have them, I can't get out. I can't get out. Well, look at it. I didn't know about that. Of course, I've been on the road a lot. But one of the things as far as a rabbit, if you get some chicken wire, plain old chicken wire, put you some sticks around it, just put chicken wire. That'll keep rabbits out. It won't keep squirrels out, but you can make chicken wire a little hoop that goes over the garden. That'll keep squirrels and birds and stuff out. The vegetables, still get all the light they need.
Yeah, because they've been when she goes out and she'll point out, like, look, somebody's been picking at this.
Yeah, it could be birds, especially before last week. But we have, what roly-polies are?
Yeah, like millipedes.
Yeah. Well, no, they're the little short things that roll up in a ball, roly-poly. Millipedes are longer, but roly-polies, they roll up a little gray ball.
Yeah, the little smaller ones.
Yeah, pill bugs, sow bugs, woodlouse is what they're called, but they're really bad on strawberries this time of year for some reason. Not sure, but anyway, a little chicken wire. You could actually cut some chicken wire to make a little cage that fits over your raised bed. You could use it as you need it. And I've actually done that in my garden. I spray painted it, so it's pretty looking. So anyway, I got a few things to yak about, but let's go down to Gulfport, see what Philip's up to. Good morning, Philip. How are you?
I'm doing better than some, worse than others.
There you go. It doesn't even average out because they're both good and bad. It's not like separate hot. It's not like you run hot and cold water together and it comes out lukewarm. It's cold and it's hot. So what you got going?
Okay.
What's up?
Actually, I got about 3 questions. I got a camellia that was my grandmother's, and I dug it up and brought it home when they sold the house 35 years ago. And I hadn't trimmed it much. And about 5 years ago, one limb was cut off down at the bottom because of a big oak we had to cut down because of Katrina. And I'm wanting to prune it. When can I? And I'm thinking about it. It looks real good where it grew out from down at the bottom in that one spot. It's real thick and nice, but the rest are like an inch or up to about 2 inches diameter, and I'm wanting to cut most of it back. And how can I cut it back that much, and when can I do it?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, this is a good time to do it because you got plenty of time for the new growth to come out and settle down and mature and set buds before fall. So that's important to get it done as early as you can. So this is a great time. But keep in mind, Philip, wherever you make a cut, what you saying?
Yeah, where I make a cut, that's where it's going to come out.
That's right. So if you cut a branch back, a low branch further the stuff above it, the low stuff's not getting enough light. So it's really important to cut the high stuff shorter than the lower stuff, so everything gets plenty of sunshine. Don't cut something so far back as being shaded by something up above it. But so you can cut the whole thing back where there's not a leaf left on it, and it'll sprout back out. But the main thing is don't cut the lower stuff shorter than the taller stuff, or else it won't get enough sunshine.
Well, where it's positioned at by the sun, the side I'm going to cut back and leave that one that grew out, it'll get plenty of sunshine.
Yeah,
it's just right for that.
Yeah, well,
I got another.
Okay.
Other question is, I got a magnolia that's been here 30 years, and that anyway, it hardly ever bloomed, and it looks like salt and pepper has been poured on the leaves.
Yeah.
I can't spray it. Is there anything I can put on the ground, Epsom salt or something that would get rid of that?
Well, no, because when you have leaf problems, you have to treat the leaf. Fungicide, if it's caused by a little fungus, which is fairly common on magnolias, more than people realize. When you look at them up close, they don't always look that great. The fungicides are more like protective films. It's like putting sunscreen on. It doesn't do any good to put it on after you got sunburn. So unless you can put a fungicide on ahead of time, there's not anything you can treat the fungus with. What I would do, and by the way, forget the Epsom salt. Epsom salt is a real popular myth. It has very little actual benefit. I'm real sure of this. But if you'll get an all-purpose tree and shrub fertilizer or any kind of all-purpose fertilizer where the numbers are about the same and scatter it on the ground out under the outer branches, not up close to the trunk, but, their roots are everywhere, under the outer spread of the branches and beyond, or just fertilize your grass, that will fertilize your tree too, and that'll help it put on new growth that might not be so spotted. The spots are typically come on new growth during heavy rains. So if you give it a little fertilizer, not a bunch, it'll put on some healthy new growth, and the old stuff will just shed off, and don't worry about it. As far as making it prune, this is a real weird thing I'm about to say, Philip, but it's absolutely true. If you take a shovel and go out somewhere towards the outer spread of the branches and just in a circle make a little cut here and there, sort of like a dashed line. If you make a cut, move over a couple of feet, make another cut, about a shovel deep, that prunes some of the roots, and that can kickstart a plant into blooming. It's called root pruning. You don't need to dig a whole circle, but just make a few cuts in a circle around the tree, like a dashed line. And a lot of times that'll stimulate a tree into blooming. It really does. It's a hormonal thing.
Yeah, I'll try that. What about it being very shaded? Because it's got heck, all kinds of trees around it.
Well,
Oak, red maple.
Well, magnolia, they bloom in the shade out in the woods, but the ones in our deep woods don't bloom as much as those on the edge of the woods. So it does need sun energy, and it's gonna need some sun to set good flowers. But also keep in mind, Philip, that when a lot of magnolia trees when they're bought, they're grown from seeds. And you can plant 100 different seeds of magnolia tree. Some are going to, just like kids, you get a whole bunch of kids, the same parents. Some are going to be brighter than others. And of all those trees, some are going to bloom better, some not going to bloom well at all, just because of what they call seedling diversity. So it might just be the luck of the draw that it ain't a tree that has naturally a lot of flowers. Could be a shade thing, might need a little root pruning or some fertilizer. So that's about all I can recommend. A little bit of fertilizer, a little root pruning, and let's see what happens.
Okay, I got one more question if you got time.
Sure.
Okay, I've got my soil. Anyway, I got a crawfish problem.
Okay, you got heavy dirt, heavy clay.
Yeah, that's what and it doesn't drain that well, and they're making the yard sink. And plus, you step on it, you got it all on your shoe.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere in the lower part of the yard, next to the woods.
Keep in mind.
How can you get rid of the crawfish? Can you?
Well, you can get rid of the ones that are there, but that could keep more from coming back. If you want to get a little fire ant poison, anything that'll control fire ants, stuff like that, you just put a little bit down in the holes. That'll kill the ones that are there, but more are going to come back. I mean, that's just all it is to it. You got a good condition for crawfish, crawdads, crayfish. They're going to come back. If you got heavy dirt, that's just part of it, sort of part of it. It's like you got a crawfish farm. Insecticides will kill them if you put it. Seven will, but it's just you got to keep at it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's still. Good information.
I just say watch where you step.
Yeah, well, I got to mow it too.
Oh yeah. Well, not much we do about that. Heavy dirt, crawfish. That's where they like to live. You got crawfish country, crawfish acres.
It's just not enough of them to make a boil.
There you go. Anyway, trying to control them, trying to kill them, it's something you got to stay on all the time. And, it's just not much, not very practical.
Okay, well, I appreciate the information on the chameleon, magnolia, and the crawdad. And the crawfish.
All righty, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a good call, Philip. Thank you for chiming in today.
He said, it ain't enough for a good ball.
That was my first question. Like, if you got crawfish in your yard, that sounds like a good problem. But if it's not enough, then hey.
Yeah. Hey, before we go to break, I want to show a picture if I can to see if I can get. I don't know if Abram can get a close up on my laptop right now. But because I've got a plant across the street, I'm going to call it the plant of the week. It's called Vitex. Vitex is a really, really cool tree. It's a small tree. Never gets quite as big as a crepe myrtle. It gets bigger than a dogwood. But Vitex is a tree that blooms in the summer. It has real pretty spikes. They got white, pink. They got kind of lavender purple. They got some real deep blue kinds. But it's an incredible pollinator plant. And I've got on my laptop here. There we go. There's a mature one. They're not a whole lot bigger than a dogwood. Incredible flower. You like blue? This is your best blue flowering summer plant. We have some blue althias, but Vitex is such a tough plant, Java. It will grow. It grows in cemeteries in Texas. It doesn't like a lot of water, doesn't like a lot of fertilizer. It's just a great plant. It's been around for a long time. Wasn't real popular in the garden centers because it doesn't look like much. Another folk name for it is called lilac chaste tree. I can't grow it in my yard, though, for one simple reason, Java. And I'm going to see if you can guess what it is.
Oh, I was going to make mention already, but, you know.
The leaves look like marijuana. You got long gray hair like me, people going to be suspicious.
But not with the purple. If you,
Yeah, when
okay.
it's blue. Anyway, so I stole this cutting with the leaves, flowers on it from a neighbor's yard. See, that way I can enjoy it by looking across. It's what they call a borrowed view.
Yeah.
I can enjoy it from across the street without having to. Anyway, if you want something that's really tough, really durable, blooms well in summer, fantastic pollinator, no real problems, low maintenance, to replace crepe myrtles, maybe you're getting tired of the crepe myrtles, Vitex is a really, really good one.
That's a cool thing. We need to maybe do a show just on like low maintenance, just set it and forget it plants.
Well, we can sure do that. We can sure do that. We're going to take a real quick break. The tune I got here is an old one. I forget the guy's name.
Charles Wilson.
Charles Wilson. This is an old tune, and I'm playing it because last week I was on the road. Next week I'm going to be on the road. And, I'm just a Mississippi. I flunked out of Mississippi Delta Junior College. You don't get more Delta and rural Mississippi than flunking out of Mohead. Retired associate professor from Mississippi State, flunked out of Mississippi Delta Junior College. But you know what? It's all good because I'm just a Mississippi boy. So anyway, Charles Wilson, Mississippi boy. If you want to check it out sometime, you can probably find it on YouTube. But me and Java Chapman and Abram Nanny, all the folks at MPB, we'll be right back.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Okie folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. We got 20 minutes to chat, so give us a call, won't you? Toll free 1-877-MPB ring. Job, I mentioned earlier that I saw a really good fairy ring the other day, and I showed a picture a couple of weeks ago. But let's put up picture number 20. And folks, if you're on YouTube, you can see this picture. If you're not on YouTube or mpbonline.org, just go to one of those and check out the Gestalt Gardener. But this is a fairy ring. It's a dead curve. A lot of people have rings or curves in the grass that's dead. And there's a fungus that grows right under the dirt, almost like a sheet of plastic. And it starts in a small area and it spreads outward. Like if you throw a rock on a pond, the ripples go out. It spreads like a ripple, about a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet wide. And it kills the grass in that ring or in the curve, but the grass on the inside will grow back and follow the curve. So what starts out as a dead spot becomes a dead ring, and it gets bigger and bigger, eventually grows on off the yard. It's called fairy ring for a reason, but there is no good control for it. If you got a little curve out there, narrow curve, and it's got a circle, or just part of a curve, just let it grow off the lawn. But let's put up picture number 21. You can see this one in the background of the first picture. Well, the reason it's called fairy ring because it has mushrooms that come up in that circle.
That is just nature. Nature is wild.
Yeah,
this is a complete circle.
Yeah, and it's little white. Well, I say little white. Some of those are 6 or 8 inches across, but little white mushrooms, and sometimes a curve, sometimes a circle. But where you see that this year, next year it's going to be about a foot or so wider, and the grass will grow back. You see how the grass is growing back inside. So it's sort of it's like having a pet fungus out there.
Yeah.
And you can watch it over the years. You can put little flamingos and let them, every year add some more flamingos. The circle gets bigger. But fairy ring is real common this time of year. Herbie mentioned brown patch. When we have warm days and cool, wet nights like we've been having, the fungus called brown patch, it causes circular areas to brown out. It's not going to be a ring like fairy ring. It's going to be little patchy things. It'll have a curve to it like a circle, but brown patch comes and goes with the weather. If you got particularly St. Augustine or centipede, when we have warm days and cool, wet nights, brown patch can rear its head. Most of the time, if you want to treat it, treat the area outside it because you can't control the stuff that's already there. You're trying to keep it from spreading. So you can put a fungicide out there for brown patch to keep it from spreading. As soon as the weather changes, it goes away. Fairy ring is out there all the time. So anyway, I just want to share that. And by the way, Java, speaking of this, I was talking about this at the pub the other night. Pub talk.
Always,
pub talk.
Yeah.
Well, the bartender told me a joke. He said that a mushroom walked into the pub, but I had to refuse service because it just disruptive. And he said, but I'm a fun guy.
Yeah. Oh, hey, wait. Don't go nowhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Because I'm a fun guy. Oh boy, I wonder what Kevin Farrell will say with that. When Karen is Kevin, he's retiring soon, isn't he?
Yeah, he's retiring soon. He's out today, but we're gonna have a nice little celebration, and yeah.
I wanted to have a pun off with him sometime because he's real bad about puns too. So anyway, we've got some lines open, folks. If you got some things you want to talk about, bring it on. Let's talk about it. Meanwhile, I want to show off some of my kale. I've got the tallest kale I've ever seen. This is the purple kale. It's mostly ornamental, but you can eat it. That little midrib is kind of tough. If you're going to cook it, you have to pull it off the midrib and just eat the curly leaves. But I've got a purple kale that's almost 5 feet tall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just growing straight up. When it was young, I had to put a chicken wire fence around it because the squirrels were eating it. And it grew out the top of my chicken wire, but the squirrels had given up, I guess. But anyway, kale is going to peter out sometime soon. It's an overwinter plant. It's pretty. The purple kinds, there's white kinds, there's all different kinds. There's one called a lacinato or dinosaur kale. It's a pretty plant. Grows over the worst winter will not hurt kale at all. It's close related to collards, but just like collards, it won't grow well over the summertime. See, so the kale is starting to peter out and may start getting bitter pretty soon. Anyway, I just want to show that. And also, I've got because it's purple, I thought I'd bring this in. I have a plant that's called. A lot of people call it purple wandering Jew. It's not. It's related. Tradescantia pallida. Most people call this purple queen or purple heart. It's a viney little thing. It dies down, comes back every year. It's got leaves that are maybe 6 or 8 inches long and about an inch or two wide, just as purple as it could be. It's got the prettiest little Tradescantia flower on it. But this is an old pass-along plant. I see it growing in full sun. It dies back completely, but it comes back even in North Mississippi. It's just a great old-fashioned pass-along perennial. Every piece of this will root. Every single piece roots at the leaf joint. So anyway, just want to throw out that as an heirloom. Got an edible and an heirloom. And I also have one more thing, tiny little. Most of the flowers fell off on the way in, but this had about a fist-sized cluster of purple lavender flowers. This is our native wisteria. A lot of people don't realize we have a wisteria that's native, and it doesn't take over like the Chinese wisteria that's all over the woods. But Still smells like wisteria, but it's this one is called something Falls. I'm drawing a total. Man, I'm just having a.
It's today's. It's
the weather or something.
We got to get you some milk or something.
Yep. Anyway, we have native wisteria that bloom. Doesn't have those long clusters of flowers. It's got fist-sized clusters. It blooms longer, later than our native. It doesn't take over as well. I'm just drawing a total blank. The name of the color, something Falls. Anyway, native wisteria. I'm just putting it out there.
It's good enough. Maybe somebody in the chat can, in the YouTube chat can help us out. Yeah. We do have a couple questions from the YouTube chat. If you want to jump into them.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, let's see. This is Mary, and she says, "Can I graft a Mahonia plant from an existing mature plant, and how to?"
I guess you mean root it.
It says graft.
Graft.
Or maybe you want to explain.
Yeah, graft is when you take a piece of one plant and stick it on another plant, and they grow together. Mm-hmm. And you can graft plants that are closely related. You can graft peaches and plums together because they're related. Apples and pears can graft, but you can't graft a peach on a pear, or a rose on a whatever. But as far as rooting them, they do root well. Short pieces, not very big. Mahonia is a plant that gets a little bit big.
And she did just jump. She said, yes, root.
Yeah, there you go. But it roots, but you want to root the top stuff, the stuff that grew this year. Not the real tender tip stuff, but the stuff that grew this year will root better than old stuff from last year. So you need to cut the top of it out. Snip off most of the leaves because they got big leaves. Snip off most of them and try to root a short piece of it. You might be better off going ahead and just buying another one, though, because that'll save you a couple of years. And plus, you don't have to cut over the one you've got. But they do root. Not really well, but they do root. So
now we do have another question. This is kind of interesting because it's a new gardener. And it's Mickey. Says I'm late planting the garden bed, and then asks the question what to plant in it. Then a few comments later says I have 2-year-old straw soil. How do I apply it to my new garden bed? And I also have flower and vegetable garden soil. How do I include this together?
Yeah, when you get store-bought stuff, whether it's manure or potting soil or mushroom, whatever, if it's store-bought stuff in a bag, you'd add it to you dig your existing dirt up. I like to go about a shovel deep. No sense in digging deeper than that because it's going to fill up with water, rot roots. So a good shovel deep, chop it up really good, then spread your new stuff on top and then stir them together. And it's a tired old cliche. I say it all the time. It's like stirring crumbled crackers into a bowl of chili. You got to start with the chili and then stir the crackers in. My rule of thumb is if you've got a shovel depth of just regular garden dirt, you can put a layer 2, 3, maybe 4 inches deep of other stuff on top and stir them together. So that's just about the most I would go with at a time. So stir it in. As far as what to plant right now, we're going into the hot season. Things like tomatoes and peppers and beans, they typically drop their flowers when it gets really, really hot. You can plant some now, but expect them not to do as well. Don't push them with a lot of fertilizer in this hot weather. But you can plant almost any kind of summer vegetables, squash and cucumbers and tomatoes and peppers and eggplant and things like that. No problem at all. You can plant them up until the first week in August here in Mississippi. The first week in August, you can plant a complete summer garden. It'll make a complete harvest before fall. So you've got plenty of time to do that. I would wait till mid to late July to set out tomatoes and peppers. They'll grow better, sturdier, stockier, and then when the weather cools off in the fall, they'll produce better than trying to keep the same plants alive all summer. I see a lot of people put peppers and tomatoes out, and they try to keep them alive all summer, and they just peter out here in the South. But if you could plant twice, once in the spring and then once again in midsummer, then you can have 2 different harvests, and the fall harvest is almost always better. But, you can plant peas and Crowder-type peas, black-eyed peas, but not English peas. No cool season things. You can't plant things like potatoes and carrots and English peas and lettuce. It's just too hot for those. So think about summertime stuff. Plant a little bit now. Put you some flowers out there. Put you some basil. Put you some zinnias. But flowers and vegetables grow well together, and it just works better. So that's what I would do.
Okay. Now, one other question. This is Susan, and let's see. I had a magnolia tree that I tried to save on a new construction site, but it slowly was dying over several years.
Yeah.
Cut it down. Suckers are now growing. A new ginkgo doing well about 10 feet away. What do I do?
That's a really good question. And construction damage, the leading cause of mature tree death, other than lightning, is going to be crushing roots with equipment or fill dirt, stuff like that. And not much you can do to help a tree that's had real bad root damage. As far as the suckers coming up, what I would do is I would thin them out. You could grow it as a shrub. You can let them all grow if you want to, or else thin them out to the strongest one, maybe 2 or 3, and the next year leave the strongest of those. Let it become a new tree. As far as another tree close by, people have this idea that trees have to have their own space. You can cram them together like people in an elevator. In the woods, you can have trees growing side by side. Neither one will be perfect, but collectively they get along. You can mix trees and shrubs and vines up. There's no problem doing that. So I would just think about thinning out all but the strongest 2 or 3 stems of the magnolia, not worry about the ginkgo.
And go ahead.
I want to squeeze in one more real quick picture. I want to brag about.
Well, before you do that, you know that wisteria you were holding up?
Yeah.
Native wisteria, Amethyst Falls.
Amethyst Falls.
Thank you to Rachel in the YouTube chat.
Amethyst Fall. And it's been one of those. I've been traveling a lot. I had a little jet lag here. Amethyst Fall, and I got it locally. So they're starting to sell this plant. Amethyst Fall is really cool. But let's put up picture number 22. If we could get Abram to do that. Picture 22 is what the back of my truck looks like. I brought in my little truck today, but this is what the back of my truck looks like. I've got the dwarf agave. I've got the dwarf nandina. I've got a couple of succulents. I've got rosemary, oregano. I've got white dusty miller. But see those bright green picture plants down in the lower left-hand corner by my gnome? Those are gourds. I used gourds last year as an ornament, and they sprouted, and they've got flowers and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and growing gourds. And, I park it, and as long as we get some rain, I may come back this fall and have a truckload of gourds.
I think you just might.
Anyway, I saw yesterday. I'll show this next week. In Belhaven area of Jackson, I was driving around and I saw a truck that had a lot of stuff growing in the back of it. I said, "This is cool." And I looked back there, and instead of him planting stuff, he had a bunch of weeds growing in the back of his truck. I mean, he had Johnson grass and ragweed, all sorts of stuff, but it looked like a garden. But it was a wildflower. I would suggest he plant some zinnia seeds out there with it.
Yeah, he was just kind of, I guess it just kind of popped in the back of his truck maybe.
Yep. Well, this little small truck, little green truck I've got with succulents in it, I've got sedums, different kind of trailing sedums and the ghost plant and a few other things, and a little miniature blue bottle tree, just to show that succulents and cacti and things like that are the coming trend. They're interesting. They're easy to grow. They don't need any water. These will stay outside all winter long. And we'll be talking about the next week or two about really good hardy succulents and cacti for an interesting combination in a container or a small part of the corner. No care at all. And when they bloom, they're real interesting. So anyway, we're going to be talking about hardy succulents, hardy sedums, hardy cacti a little bit more down the road. But anyway, it's been kind of a wild day today.
It's been kind of chill.
Yeah.
But also busy.
Yeah. Well, it's time to get the last of potatoes and peas out. Time to dig the garlic. Time to set out tomatoes and peppers. But be sure to put some basil and some zinnias and other things with it, just so you have something to look at while you hope that these plants do well in the hot weather to come.
Yeah, and then, I mean, it's nothing really we can do about the rain. It's
Nope.
just let it be.
Raised beds and containers, man. I grow almost all my stuff in raised beds and big containers. And I know you said y'all gonna be busy this weekend. I'd like to swing by sometime and take a look. So
Yeah, come. Yeah, we'll find some time. But I know this weekend is going to be kind of runny aroundy.
Runny aroundy. Well, hug your kids, man. They're growing up way too fast. Folks, I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing. My awesome producers, Java Chapman. Abram Nanny has been our live stream producer today. He's another producer here at MPB.
We had Jermaine Flood on the phones.
Jermaine was on the flood. Jermaine was doing the woo. This is special, and I hope that the garlic smell is gone. And for Dr. Kinsey coming in, I hope that's gone. Anyway, folks, if you get a chance, the garden centers are loaded with stuff. Get you a big old pot, just big enough to not be able to put your arms around. Fill it with some stuff. Put some flowers, some herbs, some vegetables in it. Maybe some succulents. And if you have some kids nearby or somebody who doesn't feel like getting out much anymore, do it for them too. It's really good for us to remember gardening is a big tent, and folks, we want everybody to get together and find collective ways to get dirty. See y'all next week.